So we have Hoff and one of the bells. Wait. Leo Bell? I don't think this is the right one. Um, that... Okay. Maybe our nameplates are a little bit inaccurate now, but South gets to open a no trump. They have 15. North transfers to spades and bids 3 no, which ends the auction. So West on opening lead. I mean, normal attitude. Oh, and look at us go here. We have a table text commentator down here, Paul Gibson. Maybe giving us a little bit of information. Wait, South hasn't passed 3 no trump yet? Is South really thinking about bidding a 5-2 spade pit? There's no way, right? You just don't do that. This is very weird. Like, I mean, okay, maybe if South was like 2-4-5-2 in shape, you could. There's why? Why would you do this? This is insane. Oh no. Whew. Okay, well, we're in 4 spades now, which would not have been everyone's choice. So, looks like 2 trump losers. And one of the round suits is going to provide another loser. But Declare now has 4 diamond tricks that they can use to pitch either a club loser or a heart loser from the north hand. I mean, maybe Declare can hope to get lucky. Like if the hearts are 3-3, they could like plan to pitch a heart from north and rough the heart suit good. That it seems like a little bit too much handling to do. So I imagine we'll just see Declare pull trumps, try and drop the 10 of spades, and eventually make 10 tricks. I wonder if this is going to be a good result for them, though, because 3 no trump could easily take only 9 tricks, depending on how the play goes. I mean, obviously, Declare still has the same 10 tricks available in no trump, but without the trump suit to prevent the opponents from, setting up and cashing a couple tricks of their own. Like, for example, West could just lead a club at trick 1, and even though it gives up a trick to the club queen, Declare's still going to have to knock out the ace and 10 of spades to score their long spade tricks, and by then the defense will set up 2 clubs of their own. So, maybe for an unusual reason, South has earned a side quite a nice swing on this hand. I don't know, am I insane? Like, I think that bidding 4 spades with the South cards is lunacy. But it looks like it does earn him a board of match win on this one. And 1 imp, probably. Oh, tired. Declare crosses back in hearts to try and pull trumps. And once they see that the spades are not splitting, they're just going to claim, knock out the 10 of spades. The opponents can cash a heart, but eventually the club will go on the 4th round of diamonds. So 420. We'll have to see what happens in the other room. I must imagine that they're going to end up in 3 no trump. And then it's all going to kind of come down to the opening lead. I mean, West has obviously multiple choices of opening lead that actually work quite well for them. A heart lead also is quite effective from the West hand to start setting up heart tricks for their side, I think. Maybe that's not true. Maybe a heart lead actually lets Declare make 10 tricks. Either way, we will find out shortly what the result over there is. All right, West is going to be squeezed a little bit, actually. Declare runs the diamond. South's hand's concealed. So, oh, never mind. Maybe Declare just claimed. Honestly, you should probably play that out. There is a legitimate chance that West doesn't have a count on the hand. But 420, we'll have to see. Like, from an imp perspective, I would not play the hand out, but from board to match, you could definitely catch your opponent in some sort of guess at the end of the board, and that could cost you, or could earn you an extra half point, or even an extra full point. Like, if the other table is making 430, then you could turn your loss into a win. Anyway, on to board 12. We'll keep an eye on the result in the other room on board 11. 1 spade by West here. North passes. East pretty likely to pass, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if East took a call. Like 1 no trump just to keep the auction alive, especially at the favorable vulnerability, could be a worthwhile decision, at least from an imp context, where you don't want to let the opponents have an easy time coming into the auction with a very strong hand as South. But East has decided to pass. 2 hearts by South. And now West has a bit of a decision to make. I mean, their partner couldn't respond to their opening bid, so they know it's not really their hand. But given the colors, it could still be very important to try and find a save in either 4 spades or 5 clubs if North-South end up in 4 hearts. So West does come in with 3 clubs. We should see 3 hearts from North. You don't want Barry partner too much for balancing, but North does have a fit. So I think they should definitely find a raise here. I mean, who knows? Maybe North will just pass and figure that their partner's done enough. The opponents have forced themselves up to the 3 level. Hopefully they go down. I like bidding 3 hearts. I mean, definitely from the imp perspective, we could still have a game. So you may as well show some support. North tries 3 diamonds, which is actually an interesting combination. Again, I don't really want to encourage partner too much. They've already balanced, and like I said, I mean, South could have a pretty weak hand for the balance, which turns out they do. Like, that king of spades is very badly positioned. The spade length is quite bad. They only have 5 hearts. Some of their minor suit honors might be worthless, like the jack of clubs, jack of diamonds. Could be useless. So 3 diamonds looks a little bit aggressive to me. Also unclear from my perspective if 3 diamonds shows heart support. I mean, North obviously thinks it does. And I think they're probably right. But it's still it would be a concerning bid to me unless my partner and I were really on firm ground. in this scenario. Yeah, see, South doesn't know that North's 3 diamonds showed heart support, so they've tried 3 no trump. Four hearts from North, I'll pass. Now West on lead. I mean, it looks pretty natural to lead the diamond. It's a singleton. So there it is. And how is this going to turn out for Declare? I mean, I think Declare can make this. Is that true? How sure am I of that assessment? So Declare gets to win the Diamond King. I mean, the main concern is these 4 spades in hand. Like, Declare can't just pull trumps. If they pull trumps, they're going to end up, well, they can set up a club trick and they can get over to the ace of diamonds that gets stranded, but they're only going to get 1 discard. They can't both take 2 club tricks and 3 diamond tricks. There's just no way. The defense will not let them do that. I mean, obviously, like, double dummy, Declare could, I guess, like, take the club finesse against West Queen, pull 2 rounds of trumps, and eventually unblock the Jack of Diamonds and use the Queen of Hearts to get over there. But that seems a bit risky. This line of play I really don't like. Pulling trumps immediately. I think Declare definitely needed to plan clubs. And the plan basically would have been to try and rough the 3rd round of spades in North's hand. With the Queen of Hearts, and then eventually hook east for the Jack 3rd of trumps. I think they might have been able to make the contract if they had done that. I don't know. The hand is fairly complex, for sure. But it looks like Declare is just going to be down 1 now. Oh, maybe not, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe this is a little bit more complicated than I originally thought, because given that West has the Queen of Clubs, Declare having stripped all the red suits, West is going to get end played here. Oh, but it's not good enough, right? Wait a second. So like Declare, or West ducks this trick, right? Because West has to duck this trick. And then if Declare continues clubs, West can just win the ace and exit a low spade to their partner's Jack, eventually scoring 3 spade tricks. Dummy is dead. Okay, they do duck this trick. So I thought Declare might have needed to overtake the Jack of Clubs with the King there to give themselves a chance. It probably just wasn't good enough, though. Anyway, West knows what they have to do. Excuse me? Why did West do that? No! This was actually such a pretty defense up to that point. I mean, kind of. It's not as if West has done much. They just ducked the club to get count and then won the 2nd round. But yeah, this was... And I think West knows the diamond position as well. Yeah, this was just a huge miss by West. 4 hearts makes. That's so crazy to me. You know, like if South had King Jack third of diamonds to start, they would have cashed the Jack of diamonds, played a diamond to the ace, and roughed the suit good before leading clubs up towards the king. That way they would have set up the fifth round of diamonds in dummy. So West should know that South started with King Jack doubleton of diamonds. They know the heart count from Declare pulling 3 rounds of trumps. They know the club count based on their partner's count signal in the club suit. I mean, maybe East gave the wrong count signal. I guess that's possible. That could maybe explain West's decision. Still, that is going to be a disappointing result for East-West. Have to imagine that that's going to be a game swing. I mean, one way or another. I don't expect North-South to get to 4 hearts in the other room, but if they do, I think they're pretty likely to go down. All right, on to board 13, we get a club opener from North. North has a 13 count, so 1 club could be short. North-South find their heart fit, and East on opening lead. I mean, East never really had a good opportunity to, or sorry, West on opening lead. East never had a good opportunity to show their club suit, so they missed out on the club fit. Obviously, if North had opened a diamond playing, you know, maybe the more standard 2/1 style, East could have overcalled 2 clubs, and then I think East-West might have been playing a club part score or a spade part score. We do see 10 imps coming through on board 12. Other table managed to get all the way up to 3 hearts in the South after a... we do actually see East bid a no trump in the other room on board 12. That 2 count, partner opened a spade. Like I said, I think it's a good imp tactic to do so at these colors only. But North-South were able to still get in the auction and find their heart fit and stay out of game, importantly. Anyway, board 13 here. King of Spades opening lead. Declare has, well, a little bit of work to do. The defenders can get a diamond ruff if they are careful enough. East needs to make sure not to block the diamond suit under leading the ace third to get their partner in. Although, I guess the diamond ruff would come at the cost of setting up a club trick, right? If the ace of hearts is knocked out and West gets a diamond ruff, then Declare has clubs to or diamonds to pitch the small club from North's hand. So I guess that kind of means if North is, or Declare, South, I guess, is privy to this idea that the defense might get a diamond ruff, they really need to win the spade ace at trick 1. I mean, I would generally say this is one of these positions where it looks fairly natural to duck the opening lead. Kind of prepare for maybe roughing a couple of spades in the South hand just in case the trump suit splits very badly, or in case the diamond suit just doesn't set up for your side. But that would allow the defenders to both get their diamond ruff and set up a club trick. So Declare does need to win the ace now, and then get to work on the trump suit. And they do. They do correctly play the ace of spades. And I think we have to see a low heart. Yeah, so they do play low heart. East plays low, which I think is pretty reasonable. The 9 of hearts from South, I do not like at all. That gives way too much information away to the defenders. All right. Diamond from Declare. I mean, this is kind of a trap that Declare could probably fall into as well. Is they think they need to start leading diamonds as quickly as possible towards that Queen Jack third. Set up the suit, and they have. But this is going to allow East to not only give partner diamond ruff, but also set up their club trick. And they don't even need to be all that careful about it. They give their partner diamond ruff now. West cashes a spade, and then switches to clubs. Maybe, wait a second. Hold on a second. No, I think Declare is still going to end up losing a club and a heart from here. I was thinking, like, maybe the club switch, Declare ruffs a spade to hand, leads the diamond. West would have to ruff, Declare can over ruff, but of course East can also over ruff and then cash the king of clubs. So it's, as long as the defense is careful, they can still beat this a trick. And that's going to be a big deal. Declare had the opportunity to try and make this if they continued pulling trumps, because then the diamond ruff would have come at the cost of this club trick. But when Declare kind of mistimed the play or gave the opponents extra tempo, 3 diamonds been made, north-south in the other room, for 110. And given that 2 hearts could have been made, could have been a push board, so not only did they lose 5 imps, but they had the board to match one as well. So nice result, going the way of Crockfords on this one. We're 3 boards in. And what does board 14 have to offer us? We have, looks like a spade fit for north-south. Have to imagine they'll reach the spade game on this one. Although, you know, I say that, but there is going to be some competition. East is going to open a diamond, I think. South will find a spade overcall. And West will come in with a negative double. So North is going to have a decision to make over this negative double. Do they bet a no trump? That would probably be my choice. They do. Pass by East. Yeah, so what does South want to do? They just bid 2 spades, and I mean, this could easily end the auction. So they miss the, what looks like a pretty good spade game. Not sure if it would make. Declare could potentially have a loser in every suit. Trumps, hearts, clubs, and diamonds. And I mean, maybe as the cards lay, it's actually going to work out quite nicely for Declare, because the Queen of Spades being offside means that I think it's pretty likely 4 spades would go down. So Jack of Diamonds opening lead. Again, it's kind of a situation where it's tempting to duck trick 1. You know diamonds are 5-2 from the Jack opening lead being not accompanied by the 10, so it has to be from shortness, and the fact that East opened a diamond and did not rebid the suit over a no trump. So cutting communication in the diamond suit seems pretty natural. I don't see any reason to win the ace of diamonds, but you could. I mean, I don't really see a reason to duck either, so maybe it's just better to win the ace. I mean, I suppose, actually, now that I'm looking at it, maybe it is correct to win that diamond ace, because if the king of hearts is on side, like flip the king of hearts and queen of spades between the opponent's hands, you can use the 10, 9, and 8 of diamonds to set up an extra diamond trick while using the heart entries by finessing West's king of hearts to get over to North's hand. So, okay, I take everything back. Why are we... That was a really weird play from East. Playing back a low diamond. I mean, Declare just gets to pitch a club loser for free. It's not going to cost, because West actually had a second trump. But I don't think there was any reason to believe that South couldn't have had a 7-card spade suit. Maybe? I don't know. That was a little bit scary to me. I guess the reason South can't have 7 spades is they took a first-round spade finesse. Okay, never mind. I take it all back. Still, I mean, a little bit concerning, I would say, from East to go after this defense. All right, Declare is in, and they're kind of out of luck, even if the king of hearts is on. Oh! The other table, Bidden made 3 spades on the north-south cards, which I guess is normal. You know, now that I'm looking at it, Declare is going to take 9 tricks in this room as well. Okay. It's been one of those days. I think I am getting to be a little bit hungry. Who knows if I'm going to make it through all 5 matches without getting some food. I think Declare should probably just like play a heart to the ace. The only way that they can bring the heart suit home for no losers is if East has singleton king, given that West has showed 4 hearts in the auction. Because even if the heart finesse wins, eventually you're going to lose the 4th round of the suit. So, is that true? Hold on a second. We cash the king of spades and West might actually get squeezed. Is that possible? Yeah. Oh my. Actually, wait a second. Declare can cash the king of spades and pitch the 10 of diamonds. So imagine if West had the king of hearts right now, right? What do you want West to pitch on the king of spades? Well, if they pitch a club, Declare could finesse the hearts, ruff a club, finesse the hearts, ruff another club, setting up the long club because West has been forced to pitch all their clubs. Cross to the heart ace and the last club is good. They have the rest. If instead West pitches a heart from their king 4th, Declare can take the heart finesse, ruff a club, take the heart finesse, and then cash the heart ace, and the king of hearts would fall. So I take it all back. I think if, ooh, look at this. We have a scoreboard. I'm going to pull that up. Yeah, look at this. This is kind of nice. So we have the 50 VP total, we have the 30 VPs, and then we have the board to match VPs. Remember, the board to match VPs are doubled. So currently, these are not sorted, but Crockfords, the team that we're currently watching, is in first. Why did Declare take the heart finesse without pulling trumps? It doesn't matter. The king of hearts was offside, so Declare is it's just going to be making 9 tricks, so a push board. Let me go ahead and update my standings command in case people are wanting to check that. hopefully that link will actually work out for all of the subsequent rounds as well. Ah, I see. They just added a thing to their website. So someone is being a good webmaster and pulling the standings up. I wonder if Declare forgot about the diamond ruff. Because it seems like right now Declare is concerned that East has the 10 doubleton of spades left. Nope, they figured it out. They pulled trumps. So 140 push board. A little bit of excitement on that one, but ultimately kind of peters out to a flat one across the two tables. Board 15, South has 10. Gonna definitely pass in first seat. West has a pretty big hand, 17, singleton ace. Probably open a heart. I wonder if West thinks the hand is not good enough to reverse though. Open a heart and rebid two spades. I guess a lot of it depends on partnership style. My suspicion is that this West player probably doesn't want to open a no trump with a sponsor. Even if they believe that this hand is not quite strong enough to open a heart and reverse into two spades. But East does have heart support. So is this hand good enough to go through forcing no trump to show it as a 3-card limit raise? Or would you prefer to make just a heavy 2-heart raise on the hand? Again, probably depends a lot on your opening bid style. If you have a sound opening bid style, then going through the forcing no trump and showing it as a 3-card limit raise makes some sense. If your opening bid style is a little bit lighter, that could include, some 9 and 10 counts, then you probably want to make the heavier 2-heart raise. So East does bid 2 hearts, and that vaults West into the game. I think pretty reasonable with the extra shape and extra high cards. And how is the game going to play here? Well, Declare has a spade guess, which they're going to have to make at trick 2. Not a lot of information. I think the normal play would be to lead low to the king, just as kind of a restricted choice consideration here on opening lead. North did not lead spades, and therefore is more likely to have the spade ace than the queen. But, I mean, obviously Declare could play for either spade honor to be in North's hand. So they lead a spade up. They do play low to the king, which I think is the correct play. So, I would say good on Declare for making the right play, but unfortunately does not work out for them in this room. And now South does have some thinking to do. South knows that the opening club lead came from a 5-card suit. Declare would have definitely tried the queen or 10 of clubs, or possibly the 8, hoping to force out South's king if they had more than one club. So South does find the trump switch. I think this is well thought out, with West being short in clubs, and especially with West leading a spade at trick 2. It seems pretty clear that Declare is trying to rough spades in East's hand. Diamond to the queen, which holds, and now spades, so North can win the queen of spades. Continue the attack on trumps. And I think Declare is only going to take 10 tricks at this point. They can win this and take a diamond finesse. But they have no way to score that 4th diamond and rough a spade in East's hand, both of which they would need to do to make 11 tricks from here. Wait, why did Declare overtake the 10 of hearts with the jack? Wait a second. hold on. Okay. We have an undo coming. Looks like maybe West like picked up the jack of hearts, thinking that he might want to win in hand. I think it would have been a reasonable play, especially if the king of diamonds could be offside. It's pretty unlikely for the diamond to be offside, though. But I'm not sure I like this play. That third round of diamonds felt needlessly risky. Because if South could ruff that, then not only are you losing a trick to a ruff, but you only get to ruff one spade, and the last diamond is not good. Or sorry, I guess if North could ruff that. Doesn't really matter. Diamonds did split, though, so Declare was fortunately rewarded with not going down in 4 hearts, which would have been a huge disaster, but I mean, 420 is not gonna be as good a result as what happened in the other room. I wonder if they did pick up the spade suit. No, there was a trump opening lead. They misguessed the spades. How did they make 11 tricks from here? Trump continuation. Ooh. And then a diamond switch from North. Is this enough? This isn't enough. Oh, South put up the king. Oh no. This couldn't have gone worse for the defense. Wow. North found the trump opening lead, but then just kind of blew the defense later. I guess you could say South made the last mistake by putting up the diamond king, but I think North should just return a spade when they got in, tapping dummy. Anyway, back to this room. We see a heart by West, 2 hearts by East. This is a little strange to me. So on the previous board, at favorable vulnerability, East with a roughing value in the doubleton spade, as well as 10 high card points, bid 2 hearts. And on this hand, East with unfavorable vulnerability, only 5 high card points and no roughing value, including a pretty weak trump holding, also bids 2 hearts. I think this is a little bit too wide of a range for your 2 heart response. Generally, I'm in favor of some of these wide-ranging bids as responder, but I would like those to be bids that don't show support for partner suit. So like having a wide-ranging 1 no trump bid here is perfectly fine. Having a wide-ranging 1 spade bid is fine. But 2 hearts, I think, really should have some sort of range associated with it where your partner could determine whether or not they should be bidding game. Like here, West jumps to 4 hearts, kind of reasonably so. They have 16 highs, albeit 3 of those are a singleton king. And yeah, East-West might get in trouble here. The other table got to 3 hearts and went down. But as things stand, South's 3 club bid is a little bit adventurous. I mean, the commentator here has called it pre-balancing. And I think it's very important to have a distinction in your partnership because it's totally okay to play 3 clubs as like a straight up bid that shows like, you know, a normal overcall with some values and long clubs. It's also totally okay to play 3 clubs as I like, have this hand, right? I'm lead directing, but I really don't want you to compete. And both of those are fine, but you really need to talk with your partner about which one you have. And I think it's kind of impossible to rope both of them into the same bid. So, you know, if you're going to play this 3-club bid as like this kind of joke hand where you really don't want your partner to compete, you just want a club lead and nothing else, and you're taking advantage of the favorable vulnerability, then you need a separate way to show a strong hand with clubs, which I think would be 4 clubs. So you give up on a 4-club preempt to get like a lead directing and a, you know, normal strong bid in, which I think is perfectly fine. I happen to know that that's the way that Craig likes to play, or at least for the most part, excuse me, Craig likes to play that the 3-club bid here is just lead directional as opposed to showing a real hand. So Declare, of course, does take the trump finesse. Not unexpected. I mean, South doesn't necessarily have a hand that he wants to switch to a diamond, club, or spade after that trick 1, so of course he could have led a heart from King Doubleton there, or King 3rd, which means no real reason for Declare to believe that anything unusual was going on. North pitches a spade, which I think is a pretty strange discard. Like, you have this 5-card diamond suit, and you can use that to signal to your heart's content. Just pitch a discouraging diamond or something, or pitch a neutral diamond. I don't really see any reason to pitch the spade. But Declare plays a spade to the king anyway, so that's going to make things fairly straightforward for the defenders. They're just going to score 2 more spades from here. Declare can put maybe a little bit of pressure on by running some hearts, but it should not be too worrisome for either North or South. South can throw a club here. North can just pitch diamonds, and I mean, South comes under a little bit of pressure, for sure. They can't pitch a club. They're probably going to be a little bit hesitant to pitch down to singleton queen of spades, although they definitely can, which would make things a bit easier for their side. Wow, they do pitch a spade. Interesting. And now West is playing spades, which I guess is somewhat reasonable. They're hoping to set up some sort of like double squeeze position. Unfortunately, the double squeeze can't really ever work because South is the one with the club threat sitting over the 8 of clubs. I mean, maybe Declare is just hoping that North has really, really long diamonds. Anyway, North can pitch a diamond here, and that will be the end of the hand. So Declare is going to go down 2 3-umps, but more importantly, that board match point coming through. And again, I think we're kind of showcasing that maybe you should play this sort of thing like board match, because we're seeing a lot of these points being swung from a board match perspective and not a lot of whoa! Why did North pitch the jack of spades? Oh my god. That's a huge mistake from North. They, of course, don't know Declare had the last spade, but I think it would have been pretty strange for South to win the Queen of Spades there and not continue spades, or win the Queen of Spades and not continue clubs. I mean, obviously, I think it was a little weird for South to win the Queen of Spades and switch to diamonds, but as opposed to switching to clubs. But I mean, North probably should have gotten that one right. So anyway, crisis avoided for East-West, given that they got a little bit too high. Hey, Seinherd, how are you? Yeah, the squeeze did not work at the end. Board 17. Well, pass, a heart from South, and the other table managed to find their way all the way up to 4 spades north-south and make it. Making 10 tricks. Looks like they probably lose a diamond, a heart, and a trump. Declare could pick up the trump suit, but I mean, you're just going to play East for King Doubleton of Spades as opposed to West for 10-9 Doubleton. So East on lead has to decide between a club and a diamond, I assume. Both opening leads look pretty natural to me. The diamond lead is maybe a little bit more aggressive to try and set up some tricks. The club lead a bit more passive. You don't want to lead away from a king. So East goes with the club. So how's Declare going to play this hand? I mean, it looks like the plan is probably to win the club ace and start working on the heart suit immediately. Alternatively, you could win the club ace and take a spade hook before starting on hearts. I guess I'm tempted to just lead the singleton heart from north because it might cause East to fly the ace of hearts. But maybe that's a silly reason for doing it. I mean, we're going to have to rough our heart to North's hand anyway to take the spade finesse later if we do that. So I guess maybe it's okay to just win the ace of clubs, spade finesse, king of hearts. We'll see what Declare decides to do. It's looking like this might be a push board. Kind of hard to imagine Declare picking up the trump suit and then the defense is always going to score both of their red aces. Okay, they do go after hearts immediately. Ace of diamonds from west. Probably continues clubs here. I'm a little surprised they cashed the diamond ace, but I guess no harm. Actually, wait, I take that back. I'm not at all surprised they cashed the diamond ace. If Declare had the king of spades, then not cashing the diamond ace would have cost a trick, so... All right, time for Declare to decide. Got to get back to dummy. Got to or not back to dummy. Got to get back to hand to take the spade finesse. But wow, you know, now that I'm looking at it, maybe this heart play at trick 2 is much more problematic. I mean, this position could have been easily seen that we get here. And yet, if we rough a heart and we lead a spade to the jack and it loses and another heart comes, now East might have started with 2 hearts. and we're at risk of a trump promotion. So Declare maybe is just going to go ace of spades spade at this point. Or maybe ruff a heart and then go ace of spades spade. Actually, that causes problems as well. Man, this is... I feel like we've put ourselves in a bit of a bind and we didn't have to do this. So in retrospect, I think taking spade hook at trick 2 would have been a much better play. Because if it loses, then at least you'll have knocked out the spade king. So once you get into this position, you could just safely ruff a heart, go queen of spades, spade to the ace, and then run the heart suit. Not having to worry about later losing a spade finesse and getting a heart trump promotion. Yeah, Declare has definitely pickled themselves a little bit. So I understand the think. It is starting to look to me like North is not as strong a player as some of the other participants in the event. I don't know who this North player is. I have not heard of Hoff before, but I think they've done a couple of somewhat questionable things on a few of these hands. I mean, obviously on the very previous board, I would say the most glaring error was not really the one that cost them the extra under trick, which was at the end they pitched their winning spade and Declare was able to cash a long spade, but they ended up signaling with spades a little bit earlier, which I think was a pretty weak defensive play. All right, heart ruff and a spade to the jack. Good enough. So now Declare can just cash the spade ace. I don't think they should be worried about that 9 of spades falling and spades being 4-1. I'm also not convinced they can do much about it if that's the layout. I mean, obviously they could at this point, like, ruff a heart with the 7 of spades and lead the queen, pinning the 10-9 doubleton. But yeah, just cashing the spade ace, pulling trumps, and eventually making 10 tricks seems like the way to go. So we should see a claim shortly. And this will be another push board. So 3 boards to play in this match. And where is the board to match tally? Wait, do we not have a result on board 11 in the other room? Oh, 3 no trump, making 10 tricks. Ah, this was the board. So the very first board of the match, this was kind of an interesting one, right? I said that if West had led a club against 3 no trump, then Declare could be held to 9 tricks. And that would, I mean, win an imp for getting to 4 spades, but also win the board match score. As it was, though, 3 no trump was bid in the other room, and they got a heart lead, and Declare was able to carefully manage the play to score 10 tricks from that point. So looks like we have then a tie currently in the board match for both teams. 7 points apiece going into the last 3 boards of the set. South opens a diamond, second seat unfavorable with a singleton king, 12 count. I like it. We see a spade from North, a no trump from South. And what is North expected to do with this hand? I mean, I think a fairly reasonable imp bid would be 3 no. On the power of ace, king, queen, 5th of clubs. Like if that suit comes home for 5 tricks, you can hope that you score enough outside to make the contract. But maybe a more prudent, I guess, what do you want to call it? Border match or match point attempt would be to treat the north hand as an invite. And it looks like that's exactly what north is doing. So 2 clubs, an artificial bid forcing 2 diamonds, 2 no trump shows a invite in no trump. A lot of players might have played this as showing a 5-card spade suit in an invite. And they would have 2 no trump natural available. My guess is that for this pair, 2 no trump would have been a relay to 3 clubs. So that's why north had to go through what looks like kind of a funny check back Stayman auction to get to the no trump invite. And how's this guy do? West on opening lead. I expect to see the Queen of Hearts hit the table relatively quickly. I mean, neither north or south has bid hearts, so therefore your choices are basically to lead a heart or a club, and honor sequences tend to be quite good. Kind of oddly enough, that 9 of hearts is going to hold up for a second round stopper in the heart suit. Not a second round stopper, a second stopper. East is going to be unable to overtake the 3rd round of hearts with the ace, otherwise the 9 sets up. So 3-0 was bid in the other room. We see the score coming through. I'm a little curious how they got there. South opened a diamond, north bid a spade, south bid a no trump, and north just blasted 3-0. Like I said, kind of more of an imp decision by Townsend over there. They end up going down 2. At this table, though, I mean, how bad is it going to be? East-West can score 2 hearts, the diamond ace, and the spade ace. So, like, imagine East ducks this trick, South can win, knock out the diamond ace, and due to the blockage in the heart suit, there's nothing that Declare can really, or the defense can really do to prevent. Whoa, East wins the ace of hearts. Okay, so now interesting question, does East switch to spades? I think the 2 spades switch would be a very nice play. It'll pick off this holding, singleton king, but it'll also pick off king doubleton. Nope. East wins and continues hearts. Whoa! The 9 from South. I mean, I'm not surprised that South is trying to duck a heart trick, but I don't understand why you would want to play the 9 as opposed to the 6. Like, this seems unnecessarily risky to me because now the defense might switch to spades, right? I think South really should have just won that trick and gone about knocking out the diamonds. Like, we know that West has at least one of the aces, so if West actually truly started with Queen Jack 10, like 5th of hearts, there's no way that we can prevent them from setting up the heart suit and cashing the hearts. So I think you really should have just hoped for a blockage in the heart suit somehow. All right, Declare now wins the King of Hearts and is going to be very disappointed when East turns up with the long hearts from here. How bad is this going to be? Well, looks like East-West can take the diamond ace and 2 hearts and the spade ace. It might only be down 1. I mean, it's looking like it's only going to be down 1 from here. Declare can pitch a couple clubs from North's hand, as long as East finds the spade switch to score partner's ace, the defense will beat this a trick, but, you know, once again, it's only going to be 3 imps going the direction of north-south, the Crockfords. So that'll be a nice pickup for them, but they're going to earn a full point, well, a full 2 points for their border match result on this one, winning the board because they stayed out of the game. There's the spade switch, and the contract is down a trick, but yeah, I think well reasoned by north-south, and maybe we're seeing a bit of the difference in strategy between the pairs here. I know that north-south have been a little bit more conservative on some of these boards, like board 14, for example. They got only to the 2 level. But anyway, 2 boards to go. And the Crockfords have actually quite a nice card, because some of these pushes, like specifically board 1, looks like a push from the imp perspective, but they earn themselves a full 2 points from border match. All right, 1 diamond by south. North bids a heart, south bids a no trump. 14 count. It's actually a pretty good 14. There's only 1 jack, and it's with connected honors. The diamond suit is quite nice. It has some spot cards. I think a lot of players would be upgrading this into a 15 to 17 no trump. North has 18. Wow, the other table got to 6 no and went down a trick. Oh my. It takes a club lead from West to beat 6 no. Because otherwise Declare is going to have 4 diamonds, 4 hearts, 3 spades, and 1 club off the top. Wow. I mean, this could be a relatively big swing, both in imps and border match. Because over South's weak no trump, North's 4-3-3 does not look that appetizing for searching for a slam. I mean, they have a really nice hand, but it doesn't take a lot of tricks. You know, for 6 no to be a good spot, you're basically going to need partner to have both a maximum and probably a 5-card diamond suit, which they do have, and yet it still goes down on the right lead. So, you know, go figure. Yeah, so North just goes more conservative, bids 3 no. I think very reasonably so. Given the way the auction started out. I'm curious about the other room, if South opened a no trump on their cards. They did. So South opened a no trump. Looks like there was some sort of artificial auction that followed, and North decided to try 6 no. And then they found the club lead. Sets up the king of clubs before that king of diamonds is knocked out. So, oddly enough here, they get to win the board in the auction. I mean, maybe to some extent, right? Like, getting to 6 no is not so bad on the north-south cards. But now West, of course, defending against 3 no trump, decides to lead his major. And that also doesn't work out, so Declare is going to emerge with 12 tricks here. So that'll be 11 imps and another full board. So 2 border match points going the way of the Crockfords. And they were leading going into this round, right? Yeah, they were in first place. I mean, there's only been 1 set that has been played, but they scored 42-8 over Gillis in the first set. And now they're off to another really, really strong start. So Declare takes the diamond finesse, and I mean, East probably knows it's hopeless looking at that dummy, just passively returns a spade. So Declare can win, cash the diamond ace, see the 10 fall, and that'll be the end of the hand. No real chance for a squeeze if the 10 of diamonds doesn't drop. So really nothing to the play. Hopefully we're seeing a claim right about now. And we'll have one board left in the match. So there's the 11 tricks? It doesn't matter for the scoring, but because they're both 11 imps, 460 and 490 would both be worth 11. Okay, VGraph operator lets us know that it was in fact 12 tricks. But yes, it's still going to be the full 2 board match points and 11 imps, going the way of the Crockfords here. And last board of the set. Well, this, once again, looks like it might be a fairly interesting one. Spade from West. East is like kind of in a bit of a bind. I think the normal thing to do with East hand is to just bid 2 clubs. You're not really strong enough to game force, especially with a void and partner suit. But if you don't bid 2 clubs, you're going to be bidding a no trump. And not only do you not get to describe your hand, you don't really have a great rebid either. Your partner's probably going to bid 2 spades, and now what? Do we bid 3 clubs to show a single suited hand with clubs? Do we rebid 2 no to show an invite with kind of a balanced hand, which we don't really have? Yeah, so East just takes the more practical route. Let's game force. Let's make sure we get to the right strain, make sure that we can show our hand, and you know, hope that things work out, which, I mean, it imps, vulnerable, very reasonable thing to do. Whoa, okay. I'm not convinced I like East 3 club bid here. South came in with 2 hearts. We've already seen South on board 16 earlier. Now, granted, that was favorable, but come in with a very silly looking hand for their 3-level overcall, or for their overcall. I would expect this to be a more sound bid, but regardless, East has no fit with their partner. They're minimum in terms of values for their game force already, and they have a kind of trump stack against the opponents. If their partner leads a club, it's good for them. If their partner leads a diamond, it's good for them. If their partner leads a spade, it's good for them. I definitely would have doubled 2 hearts with East's hand, just expecting this is a bit of a misfit. The opponents are in trouble. Maybe we don't even make game, so we just score. We just go plus this way, but we could easily have 500, 800, 1100 against the opponents here, and our side might not even be making a game. Well, they got to 3 now, and it looks like this is going to work out just fine. The clubs run, the queen of diamonds is on side. I mean, there's a lot of good news for Declare on this one. So, you know, not going to be a disaster. It's not like they got to 3 no trump and the clubs don't split and queen of diamonds is off and you end up going down, whereas you could have just collected an easy 500 or 800. But how bad was 2 hearts doubled going to be? I mean, I wonder if North-South can run to spades. That appears to be their best fit in the 5-0 trump split. Well, Declare taking some time to consider what are they pitching on these 4 rounds of clubs. South, I think, likely to throw a few spades at the very least. I think it's important for Declare to keep that 7 of hearts in their hand. So I would be somewhat tempted to throw 3 spades and a diamond on 4 rounds of clubs. My thought is we might be able to like cash a couple of diamonds and end play South into leading away from the ace of spades later. You have to imagine that South has the spade ace. Both for the bidding as well as for the fact that they didn't switch to spades at trick 2. They just won the opening heart lead and continued hearts, which like South can see is kind of non-profitable. That 9 of hearts is going to stand up and dummy as a second stopper in the suit. All right, other table, bid and made 3 no trump, but only took 9 tricks. And I would definitely have my sights set a little bit higher as east-west here. The clubs have split. I mean, we have 9 top tricks, but anything from a diamond finesse to end playing South could work out. Okay. Declare pitches the 7 of hearts. I'm, as I've said, not like a huge fan of that play, but it's probably going to work out okay. It looks to me as if Declare is planning to take the diamond hook. We pitch a spade on the 7 of clubs, diamond to the ace, diamond to the jack, and even if it loses to the queen doubleton with South, we're eventually going to score a long trick. Either South is going to be forced to lead into the 9 of hearts or forced to lead into our spade king. So it's without risk taking the... Excuse me? I mean, like, it was definitely without risk to take the diamond finesse against South. Well, this was not the play. Okay. Wow. This has been a journey. I am surprised by Declare's decision. Well, that means the board's going to be a push once again. So East-West had a real opportunity here to earn themselves back some points, at least in the board match perspective, but they do not. So push forward at both imps and board match means Crockfords probably going to maintain a sizable lead in the event overall.